and grant us your salvation.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "There will be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars, and on earth nations will be in dismay, perplexed by the roaring of the sea and the waves. People will die in fright, in anticipation of what is coming upon the world, for the powers of the heavens will be shaken. And then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. But when these signs begin to happen, stand erect and raise your heads, because your redemption is at hand. Beware that your hearts do not become drowsy from carousing and drunkenness and the anxieties of life, and that day catch you by surprise like a trap. For that day will assault everyone who lives on the face of the earth. Be vigilant at all times, and pray that you have the strength to escape the tribulations that are imminent, and to stand before the Son of Man." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Dramatic words, end of the world words by Jesus in today's Gospel. For the powers of the heaven will be shaken, and then they will see the Son of Man coming down with power and great glory from the clouds. Wow. 2,000 long years, the Church has been awaiting the second coming of Christ at the end of all things. But is this real? Is it going to happen? Is it just maybe a scare tactic so we'll act like good Christians? We confess in the Creed that indeed Christ will come again to judge the living and the dead, and his kingdom will have no end. No end. So what to make of these strong, dramatic words in the Gospel? Christ's second coming. What I find very helpful is not to call Christ's second coming his second coming, but his third coming. Repeat. Helpful to me is not to call Christ's second coming his second coming, but his third coming. What do I mean? In his first coming, our Lord came in our flesh as a little child and in our humanity. Christmas. In the third coming, Christ will be seen in glory and majesty coming on the clouds at the end of time in our future. But at his second coming, between the first and the third, Christ is found, experienced in the person of our neighbor, in one another, in creation, in the word proclaimed, in the sacraments, even Christ in ourselves. Christ's second coming is today, right now at this Eucharist. Christ is closer to us right now, his second coming, than we can possibly realize, and that's a powerful thing. Author Annie Dillard writes powerfully and humorously. She writes, "On the whole, I do not find Christians sufficiently sensible to our conditions. Does anyone have the foggiest idea of what sort of power we casually invoke, whereas I suspect does no one believe a word of it. In church, we should all be wearing crash helmets. Ushers should issue life preservers and signal flares. The ushers should lash us to our pews. For the sleeping God may awake, or the waking God may draw us out to where we can never return. Christ's second coming right now. Jesus warns, don't let your hearts become drowsy, sleepy. Don't let that happen to your hearts. To have a heart that is awake is to be an openness to Christ in the people around me, openness to Christ's second coming today. It's easy to be kind of in this bubble and say, you know, I'm just doing my own thing. That's all I have energy for, just my own thing. God desires more for us than being in a bubble life. Our lives, our joy, calls us to live for one another and to be for one another, open hands, generously. What breaks my bubble? What wakes me up? I want to share with you a simple practice that can be helpful. It's helpful to me. It's called the blessing practice. That is, throughout the day, silently bless other people. At times during the day, simply bless a person in secret, many times a day, especially strangers. A woman crossing the street, Lord bless her. Children in a playground, Lord bless them and their families. A student studying, bless him, bless him, bless his studies. A person you may see with a sad face, oh Lord, just bless that person. Or be obnoxious, a whole plane load of people up there, Lord bless them. You might say, well, I'm not a priest, can I bless people? Of course you can. For example, achoo. God bless you. Or Gesundheit. I have no idea what Gesundheit means, but God bless you. So you can indeed bless people. Keep the blessing simple. Don't add too many words to the blessing because it is God who blesses, and God knows how to bless more than we do. Why should I wish this blessing for my neighbor? Because we all wish to be blessed, right? So to be more practical, I want you to bless 3 people in this church. At least one person, a stranger. Simply 3 people in this church. Say in your heart, bless her, bless him, bless their lives. Let's take 30 seconds. And mean it. The more we bless, the less we curse. The more we bless, the more we become like Jesus. It is Jesus, the Christ, whose second coming is today. The more we bless, the more we recognize Jesus with us, right here, right now.